Yeah, I don't understand this thing about democracies. Hasn't it happened in let's say socialistic countries too? Troublesome people, they just disappear.
Oh, it does, but those guys are open about it. It's kind of hidden in democracies. Democracies are kind of on the surface squeaky clean and perfect, but we all know that the rules of the game are pretty similar to the other models,
Yeah, but
i.e. how you deal with troublesome people.
yeah, and so that's the
You see, if you look at my YouTube account, you'll see there's a reference to censorship, because that's what I do. We are in the censorship business within Zuffa.
okay,
It's our agenda to make Zuffa the only player in town.
okay,
And if there's people out there who are damaging that objective, appropriate actions need to be taken, and we'd rather work with you than work against you.
hmm
But you're limiting our options if you don't willingly cooperate.
hmm
Because this is big stakes we're talking about now. Zuffa is becoming a monster. It's becoming huge. We've now got, believe it or not, we've now got foreign governments investing in Zuffa. Can you believe that?
yeah, well,
I won't mention any names, but because I'm actually calling from the Middle East, but that should give you a clue that one of the Middle East governments holds a percentage in Zuffa.
well,
I'll let you do the research to find out who it is, but that's the kind of level we're talking about now.
so basically this is another kind of phone call where you're telling me that if I don't play ball and do what you want me to do, that you're in the cleaning business too, isn't that right?
No, I didn't say that.
You mentioned the democracy thing, and accidents happen, and there was a implied direction that was going, right? That if I wasn't,
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way, Dan.
well, come on now, it is what it is, man, right?
If that's the way you look at it, that's certainly not a very nice way to look at it. But if that's your conclusion, there isn't much I can do to change that.
My conclusion on what? That you're in the, you just said yourself that you're in the censorship business. So that's basically like, putting muzzles on people, right? Temporary, permanently, stuff like that. So what'll happen if I
Permanent more than temporary, actually.
permanent more than temporary? So what would happen to me if I actually got off here and started blasting verbally, Zuffa, and saying that fucking UFC was cool, but the people at the top, man, they hijacked it and we got to get it back. If I said something like that, how would that be taken?
Well, how do you think?
Well, I don't know. I mean, what, would you guys call up and say, look, you know what, we're going to take you to court? I mean, you've already threatened to take me to court, right?
We said if you didn't stop insulting our personalities, that we would need to seriously consider legal action.
Yeah. And that's when I said, please take me to court, because that would actually be some of the best free publicity that I could get, into...
And we're aware of that. That's probably why we won't do it, and we'll use other means.
Okay, so when I pulled your trump card on that one at the get-go, just to say, you know what, I could have acted like, oh, wow, you guys are going to take me to court? And I'm like, please do it, man. I'm praying for something like that. Now, we're back at the other one, how'd you phrase it? About the democracies and what happens? I can't exactly remember. I was paying attention to Kalani, and she stole my mind for a second.
I can't recall either, Dan. Are you recording this conversation by any chance?
What's that? Am I recording this conversation?
Are you recording this conversation?
Why would I have to do that? The only reason, if I was recording it, James, would be to defend myself, because I felt threatened in some way. Wasn't that right? I mean,
you've done that before when we've spoken, and we didn't appreciate that.
Yeah. I don't have to do it again because I already had the first one, and that was enough, man. Uh, you know, I mean, is it enough to link it so if Dan Quinn dies, it can, you know, be linked to Zuffa? No, but you know, just that fact that will be enough to get a story written on that, guaranteed. You know, well, let's say that Dan Quinn died, and then the recorded conversation that I had where you mentioned Zuffa and the Fertitta brothers by name, that would be enough to start a story, okay? You know, really, with fucking all the story-hungry people that are out there, a murder, and then, you know, an English voice saying that he's a representative of Zuffa, and the Fertitta brother, I mean, I don't remember word for word. I can, you know, pull it up on the computer, though, if I had time to find it after, you know, searching through all those videos and shit. But, you know, it's a link.
The thing is, though, Dan,
it's a link, brother.
I don't believe there's any evidence whatsoever.
Well,
because there's no link at all.
Well,
you simply have somebody on the phone who you can't verify, even that you don't even know that I represent Zuffa.
You're right. You could be just some lunatic that's fucking stealing my time, you know, and whatever. But, you know, it is what it is, man. It's a link, and it's all that my boys would need. You know what, man? I'm gonna do things. You know, I haven't done anything that's pissed you off yet, have I, boss?
Well, as I say, that you're making some harmful. You're sending out harmful messages, Dan, because you're insulting our personalities, and it's bad for business.
Well, but I'm not saying anything that's not the truth, or, you know, I mean, well, I mean, that's so subjective, right?
Well, you seem to have this personal grudge with Joe Rogan for some reason, and we would prefer if you forgot about that.
I haven't mentioned fucking Joe's name bad in any way, shape, or form in a long time, huh? I mean...
Well, there's still videos of you making comments on Joe, still plainly visible on the internet.
There's a lot of them?
I don't have the exact number, but I've been informed that Joe Rogan is one of the main targets of your hate campaigns.
So how did it actually, did Joe come fucking whining to you guys about it, or did you, like, step in and try to fucking...
Yeah, if you remember, our whole contact was initiated over Joe Rogan, because we were approached by Joe and his team, and they gave us word that there was a character on the internet who was slandering him. And we did our research, and then I more or less put the fire out, and I said, calm down, guys, I'll get this under control, because I think we can work with this guy. Let's not make him an enemy. Let's get him on team. And that's what I've been trying to do. As I said, I've been assigned more or less as a case officer, and I handle a certain number of personalities out there, and I'm trying to nurture a relationship between you and Zuffa, and I hope we can work together, as opposed to having friction where we're ultimately enemies. Because Dan Quinn versus Zuffa, you know there's only going to be one winner in that fight, Dan. Come on.
Well, you know what? You're right at this point, but I'll tell you this, brother. You guys, seriously, you guys think that I'm fucking crazy, yada yada. That's cool. A lot of people do, but then...
No one said that, Dan.
Well, who gives a... whether I am... You know what? It doesn't really matter. You're starting to defend the position on calling me crazy. Who gives a fuck about that? How about this? I can do everything with the stevia that I've said. So when that catches on, Dan Quinn couldn't fuck with Zuffa because you guys got too much money, man. But theoretically, if Pure H2O...
We've got money and we've got power, okay? We're part of the Las Vegas establishment. So money can't buy you that kind of position. We actually have proper power.
Yeah, but money can fucking...
Money's one thing, but, you know, being juiced in with an establishment, that's totally different. And we are now part of the fabric of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
You can't really make any big moves in Las Vegas without the Fertitta brothers' blessing. That's the kind of level we're talking about. why boxing's on its way out, because it's basically the Petita Brothers versus boxing.
If cage fighting gave a fuck about overtaking boxing, really? Because you guys are pulling in the money. What do you mean? Oh, you guys are actually even with boxing in revenues taken in, aren't you? Or exceeding them?
Exceeding them now.
Okay, so you're already the top dog, and you know what's even more embarrassing about that is, you know, those 5 Ferraris and shit, and then that one kid that needs a operation on his neck, and there's no money
Not
for
our
it.
problem, Dan. Not our problem, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
We're not a charity. We're a business.
So basically, you're trying to get me to do what you want me to do, and then you're throwing this bone about maybe I'll get a chance to fight a fucking Randall Lamont. I mean, when you brought up Randall Lamont and Dave Huckabee in the same sentence, you know, it showed me that you really hadn't done your homework, because I think they got in a fight and they don't like each other. And
that's not my understanding. My understanding is they have a very good relationship, and Randall has provided us with Dave Huckabee's phone number, and we're going to be contacting him very soon.
cool. Well, you know what? If
As I remember, Dave's number ends in, I think, 1718, if I remember correctly. Is that your understanding?
I don't know. I had Dave's telephone number in my telephone, but I'm talking on it, and I got one of those stupid phones, so, you know, I'd have to hang up, and then I probably wouldn't want to fucking pick up again, because conversations with you, James, are kind of one way, you know.
Well, it is what it is, Dan, to quote one of your famous sayings.
Yeah, if Zupa gave a fuck...
We hold all the cards, because we can help you establish an image and a reputation for yourself. You already have a reputation. We can help you get to the next level. You can use us as a stepping stone, so to speak. You will be signed and committed to a Zufa contract, but we can help you get to the next level. But you need to play ball with us. You need to come on team. And you're treating us like an enemy, and we find your behavior offensive and insulting. So there's only so much I can do whilst Zufa has this opinion of you. Because if we open up the files on Dan Quinn, it's not looking good. It's like this guy needs to be dealt with, kind of thing, you know? You catch my drift.
Wow. Dealt with.
Yes, and I'm not going to say any more on that. But let's just say there's a lot of sand in the desert.
Is that right? What desert? The Middle East or Vegas?
Both.
Both.
But probably in reference to how things may progress, it would be the Vegas desert, of course.
Is that right? Well,
And that's an open statement, so you can't stick anything on a statement like that.
well, actually, can you or not? You know, what would a jury think? Like in a civil suit down the road, in case, put it like this, man. There's different. You guys are huge, and so, you know, if I was actually murdered or disappeared, and then I had this on tape, that might be a fucking golden parachute for my kids.
No, not necessarily, because it's my understanding, without a body, all the police can do is file a missing persons report.
Is that right?
Okay, that's a fact.
Damn. So you got this planned out. Is that right?
Well, you can reach that conclusion if you want, but it's a fact.
Yeah.
The American judicial system, that without a body, all the police and the legal authorities can do is file a missing persons report, because unless there's a body, there's no evidence that a crime has taken place. Fact.
That's not exactly true, James. I think actually that somebody got convicted without a body, right?